there a second? Great, brief explanation.
Brief explanation is that this would basically turn this legislation into legislation solely about Brookemeade Park. What it would do is it would maintain the Section 3, which was the funding that explicitly talked about Brookemeade Park. In Section 1, when we talked about equipment, it would maintain the trash trucks and the power washers, because those were things that were indicated by folks interested on every interest of Brookemeade Park, for trash collection and cleanliness. And in Section 2, the only eye in the sky cameras it would fund is the 6 cameras at Brookemeade Park. I'm on this legislation because I think that it is a decent enough compromise for everyone, and I think it's kind of the direction we should have started with just addressing Brookemeade Park, and I'd ask committee members to support.
Thank you. Any other committee members wish to comment? Councilmember Mendez and then Johnston.
Thanks. I appreciate the work that folks put into this and Councilman Sledge's comments. I guess the only thing, and I'm gonna support this. I just want to say that to the extent we get more legislation down the road for more cameras in more parks, I think we're back to square one in the ongoing conversation. I'm willing to accept this as a compromise, but I want to guard against this being considered a precedent for radically increasing the cameras in parks. Thanks.
Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you for recognizing me. I appreciate the work that's gone into this as well. I think the original wording of this, the original resolution was unfortunate and inflammatory, and I appreciate that we have worked on that and gotten rid of that and have clarified what the true intent of these dollars is. I did want to see if there was anything in here. I read it and I just thought there could be some problems, so I wanted to see if Director Odom is here and wanted to speak to anything, any language that she sees that may be problematic, just to give her that opportunity if she would like to. Otherwise, I think I've co-sponsored this.
You are co-sponsored.
I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Odom.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for all of your hard work as we have moved through this process. Down in, I think one word that may be an issue down under Section 3. It reads, no funds allocated under this resolution shall be used for the purpose or effect of removing, inconveniencing, or otherwise disturbing residents from existing homeless encampments. I think the word inconveniencing, it could be interpreted in different ways. As everyone has stated throughout this debate or discussion about these particular funds, it is not the intention at all to remove folks from inhabited encampments. These encampments will be vacated and abandoned and not occupied. But in terms of inconveniencing, that word is a little bit troubling.
Can I get a lawyer on the administration perhaps to comment on where the word, or our counsel? You're recognized.
So
thank you, Director Odom.
yeah, this language was added by council amendment at the last meeting. I don't know that there was, I guess I'm not sure that there was a lot of intent behind the word inconveniencing to mean anything in particular other than just what I was going to say, unless a council member wants to speak to it.
All right, another lawyer, Councilmember Mendez.
Don't call me that. Well, I would note just a couple things. One, if we're picking at the words, there's not a lot of daylight between inconveniencing and otherwise disturbing. I think I gathered. Well, I thought the intent was clear when I read it. I guess I'm now questioning whether it was clear. When I read it, I assumed that removing was inadequate because removing would be the literal act of chasing people off or removing them physically, and that wasn't all that was being guarded against. What was being guarded against is generally harassing folks out of an area. And so you get to write generally harassing people out of an area or otherwise disturbing or inconveniencing. And I take the director's point that there's fuzziness there, but I think when I read it, at least the intent was, we're not just talking about you're not going to remove folks, you're not going to generally create circumstances that make them wish they were somewhere else. And I don't know how to say that any more specifically. I do take the point, and I think that's the nature sometime of compromises. So I'm not sure I've got a clear opinion other than to say I did think the intent was clear to limit something other than just physically removing folks.
Thank you for that. I would just ask if there is language there that will prevent Metro Parks from building a bridge and making the repairs that they need. This is directed at our council here.
The question was, would this
Would
make
the
it
language
so?
inconvenience make it so that we could not use the funding to build a bridge, for example, or the other items that are
No,
listed there?
I don't read it to prohibit that.
Okay, so if we can
Read it again.
perform
Yeah.
the actions that we've spelled out and understand that the spirit is to do so in a way that's respectful of people who we are going to be working very hard to find homes for at the same time, I think we've hopefully can move forward with that. We appreciate your.
I'd just like to add and reassure that it is not our intention at all to harass or agitate people who are inhabiting these encampments, this encampment.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Councilmember Druffel.
Thank you, Chair. I think the intention here is just simply to do our best job to find homes first. But I don't think there's any intent, as I signed on to this bill, that we would do anything that would, do anything negative. So I think we're in good shape. At least that's our intent.
Thank you. And now we're on record as saying that too, which I think is helpful. Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to also speak in support of the substitute here. I think the fact that it focuses just on the repairs of Brookemeade Park allows for Metro Parks to come back to the ARP committee with a more comprehensive request for all parks in general, including staff, equipment, whatever is needed. And so that's why I'm in support of this amendment, because it speaks directly to the Brookemeade Park issue. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you so much, Director Odom. Seeing none, all those